So, Danga greetings. I am Anthony C. Ambat, and today I will explain our project, which is our ordering system. So, let's start. This is a management menu frame. It's a Java Swing GUI for managing a restaurant menu supporting as crude operation or the crude menu is create, read, update, and delete. On the menu item, such as the main, dishes, beverage, and dessert, it depends on Java Swing for UI component and uses classes from restaurant model and restaurant pattern. Menu item factory to handle menu data creation and storage. Core component include a JTable for displaying item and text field for input, a category drop-down and action button, input validation ensure data integrity, and the UI automatically update through method like refresh menu table. After any change, user can clear field, confirm, delete, and edit existing entities with this. The interface feature a clean and modern design using soft pinch and pitch tone, readable custom font, and well-structured layout manager like border layout and box layout and flow layout, delivering a user-friendly experience tailored for restaurant staff. So this is the output of the management menu GUI. The interface shown is the Java Swing based on GUI for managing a restaurant menu, allowing user to add, edit, and delete menu items such as main dishes, beverage, and dessert using input field and button with all item display in the style table. While the back-end user object-oriented principle and the factory pattern to handle menu data dynamically. So let's try to input the dishes, beverage, and dessert to see what will be happen and what will be the result. That's all, and thank you.
Dangal greetings everyone, my name is Veronica Cojeres and today I will discuss the kitchen panel frame by block of code. This block defines the package restaurant.gui, which means this class belongs to the GUI graphical user interface part of the project. It also imports many needed classes. These include the observer and order manager for the patterns package, the order and menu item models, and all necessary swing components like JTable, JPanel, JButton, and etc. used for creating the interface. This declares the class kitchen funnel pane which extend JFrame. It also implements the order observer interface, meaning it can respond to new orders inside the class. Their main components are defined a table for showing the orders, a table molder for managing the data inside the table, and log out for existing the screen. This is the constructor of the class. It set the title of the window to kitchen panel, center in it on the screen, and close the app when the user clicks the X. This block creates the main content panel and uses a border layout which defines the panel into north, south, east, west, and center. A light pink color is set as background. And this part set up the table columns and design the appearance of the table. The default table model is used to dynamically manage the table rows. The table front, row height, grid, and background color are also set to give a clean and soft look. This block customizes the table header by setting its font to bold and increasing the size. It also changes the background and adds a bottom border for better appearance. Since table can grow and have many rows, this block adds the table to a scroll pane. This makes sure that when there are many orders, the user can scroll to see everything. It's added to the center of the window. This creates a logout button so kitchen staff can log out anytime. This button is styled and placed at the top right using a float layout. It added to the top of the window. This block adds an action to the logout button. When clicked, it closes the current window disposal and opens the login screen again by creating a new login pane. The frame registers itself as an observer to the order queue manager, so it will be notified whenever there is a new order. Then it gets the list of current orders and show them in the table by calling add order to table. This method helps display each order in the table. It gets the customer's name and loops through all the items in their order. It also figures out the item category by checking the class name. Then it adds a new row in the table with this info. This is the method for the orders observer interface. It runs automatically when there's a new order. It adds the new order to the table and also show a pop-up message telling the staff that a new order has been received. And that's all. Thank you. Dangal greetings, and now I will discuss the five Java classes work together to model a restaurant's menu system using object-oriented programming principles like inheritance, abstract, and aggregation. The first class is called menu item, and it's an abstract class, which means we cannot create object directly from it. Instead, it acts like a blueprint for other classes. It has two important properties, its name and price, which every menu item in the restaurant should have. It also has a constructor to set these values when an item is created, and getter methods so we can access the name and price later. The next is three classes are main dish, beverage, and dessert. These are child classes that extend the menu item class since they inherit from menu item. They don't need to rewrite the code for name and price again. They automatically get it from the parent class. These classes represent the three categories of items you can order from the menu. Each one has its own constructor, but the rest of the behavior comes from menu item. This makes our code clean and easy to manage because if we ever need to change something common to all items like how price is handled, we only need to update it in one place, the menu item class. The fifth class is called menu, and this is where all the menu items are stored. It uses a list to keep track of the items, whether they are main dish or beverage or dessert. There's an example of aggregation where one class holds objects from another class. The menu class has different methods for managing the list. You can add new item using add menu item, edit existing one with edit menu item, and remove items using remove menu item. There's also a display menu method that prints out the full list of menu items with their names and price. So it's easy to see what's available. Overall, this program is a simple but organized way to create and manage a menu in a restaurant. It shows how powerful object-oriented programming can be when organized real-world things like food items. Using inheritance makes it easy to refuse code, and having everything inside a menu class keeps things neat and easy to update.
Dangal greetings everyone, my name is Mark Andrea Porado and I'm here to explain to you the menu item factory class of our project. This class uses the factory design pattern to create different types of menu like beverage, main dish, and dessert. It has a static method called create menu item which takes category, name, and price. Based on the based on the category, it returns the right object. Main dish if the category is main dish, dessert if the category is dessert, and beverage if the category is beverage. If the category is invalid and or null, it returns null. This pattern helps our code organized and flexible because we don't need to use new everywhere to create new items. We just call the factory method. Thank you. Now, let's proceed to the order observer class of our project. This interface is part of observer design pattern and it is located in a restaurant pattern package. It has one method called on new order with a parameter order class order. This method will be called whenever a new order is placed. Class that implement this interface are called observers, and they will respond or react to new orders in the system. Now, let's proceed to the order queue manager class. This class is found in the restaurant pattern package and is an example of singleton and observer design pattern. The class makes sure there is only one instance of order queue manager using a private static variable called instance. The constructor is private, so it cannot be created from outside. The method get instance is used to access the single instance. It has a list of observers, classes that implement order observer. When a new order is added using add order method, it notifies all observers using notify observers. For the next class is we have the item count class. This class is found in the restaurant report package, and it is used for reporting the number of times a new item was ordered. It has a attributes private item name for the name of the item and private int count for how many times it was ordered. For its constructor, public item count, it sets the item name and starting count. Uh, it has the method get item name and get count to access the values, and also a method for increment count. Increases the count by 1 and useful when the same item is ordered again. Let's proceed to the last class of the project. Uh, Class Report Generator class is used to generate different types of reports using a list of orders. This class is in the restaurant reports package. For the method 1 is we have the get daily sales. This method calculates total sales for the day. It goes through every order and adds the price of each item. The date parameter is not used yet, but it can be used for filtering orders by date in the future. For the method number 2, get most ordered items. This method returns a list of items along with how many times each was ordered. It checks if the item already exists in the list. If yes, it increases the count. If not, it adds the item with count of 1. It uses the item count to store item names and counts. And for the last method, we have the get customer order history. This method finds and returns all orders from a specific customer. It compares each order customer username with the given username. And that's all for the food restaurant project.
Greetings, I am Jasper Asian. I will discuss the user.java, admin.java, kitchenstaff.java, and customer.java. So let's start first with the user.java. Public abstract class user, public. The class can be so meaning the class can be accessed from the other package, abstract. This means you cannot create an object of this class directly. It means to be extended or inherited by other classes. For example, the customer and admin. So attributes fields, private string username, password. These are private fields, meaning they can be only accessed or modified using the getter and setter method. Constructor. This dot username equals username, and this dot password equals password. These constructors initialize a user object with username and password. This dot username refers to the instance variable. Then username refers to the parameter passed to the constructor. Then here yung setter and getter ng username at password. So yung next is yung admin.java. Public class admin extends user. Public, so it means accessible siya from the other parts ng program. And yung admin is a subclass or child ng abstract na user class. So it inherits all the attributes and methods from user such as username, password, and their getters and setter. So nasa isang package din sila na package is restaurant.model. Constructors, public admin string username and string password. This constructor calls the constructor a user superclass using super, then open and close parentheses. And it passes the username and password to the user's constructor to initialize those fields. So ito, yung username and password and methods gaya ng get username and set password is inherited from the user class. And next is the kitchenstaff.java. This class represents a kitchen staff user, for example, cook or chef. Then nasa loob din siya ng restaurant.model package namin. So, public class kitchen staff extends user. Public, so it means it can be accessed from the outside package. Extend user. This means the kitchen staff inherits all the attributes and methods from the abstract user class. So, it can get the username, password, and also the getter and setter. So, attributes. Ayun, yung attributes nila, they are already declared in the superclass user. So, public kitchen staff, string username, and string password. It uses super to call the user's class constructor and initialize the user and password. So, here yung getter and setter niya is nanggaling na rin sa super na class.java. So, the customer.java in a restaurant system, it extends the user class and adds functionality to specific to customers such as tracking their orders. So, nasa loob din siya ng package namin na restaurant.model. So, import java.util.arraylist and import java.utillist. So next class, public class customer extends user. Customer is also a subclass of the abstract class user. So it also inherits all the fields methods from user like the username, password, and the getters. So private list order not order. So this is a list of order objects. It represents all the orders placed by this customer, and it's initialized in the constructor as an empty list. Constructor, public customer string name, string username rather, string password, super username and password. Then this dot orders equals new array list. Calls the user constructors to set the username and password and initialize orders as an empty list so it is ready to store new orders. Getter, here ito yung getter niya, get orders, ito return orders. Custom method, public void add orders that add. This method allows the system to associate a customer with multiple orders. So ito siya, ito yung type of relationship niya, association. Now I will discuss the code of the GUI window of order cart frame. So, yan. Order cart frame na nasa loob siya ng package na restaurant.gui. So, ito yung GUI na window. Purpose nito is to display items added to the cart, shows the total price, and has a place order button to finalize the order. So, ito. Gaya kanina, nasa loob siya na restaurant.gui na package. So, ito yung mga import niya. Import.java utilist. Ayan, Java swing, Java swing. And. So, class declaration, public class order cart frame extends JFrame, inherits from JFrame, making it a window in the application. Ito, fields, private list, menu item, private JTable, private default table, private JButton, and private customer. These fields are used in the class. Cart is a list of items to be ordered. The customer is the placing the order. Cart table and table model is to display item in table. Place order button to submit order. Constructor, order cart frame, and cart customer. Takes a cart list of selected food items and customer as in input, and initialize and lays out the entire window. GUI setup, set title, food dash, and your cart. Then ito yung mga size niya. So get content pane sa border layout and sa color. So cart table setup, string column names, item and price. Set up table columns, item and price. Ito yung for menu item, cart, object, raw data equals item get name, then dollars peso sign plus string format, then ito. And it loops through the cart and adds each item to the table. Table and scroll pane. Ito. Creates a style table with a scroll bar and adds it to the window. Bottom panel with total and button. Ito. Creates a panel at the bottom for the price and place order button. Itong double total, ito is for calculates the total price of the items in the cart. Then J-label, total J-label. Ito naman yung nag-display ng total price sa label. Place order button. So, ito. Ayan. So, when the button is clicked, una, check niya yung cart is kung empty ba. Then, pangalawa, mag-create siya ng new order object. Then, pangatlo, show the receipt, method from the order class. Then, pang-apat, show a configuration message like successfully added or order na yung item mo. Then, last, clears the cart and update the UI. So now I will demonstrate kung paano nag-work yung order frame namin. And so first mag-login muna tayo as a customer. So eto maganda tayo ng mga 5 item. Then dito rin pala yung category, then name ng food, then price, then view cart. So ito na, mga na-add natin. Cheeseburger, chicken sandwich, iced tea, and triple mango float. Then sa column na to, ito yung item. Then sa kabilang column is here yung price. Then sa bottom right part is, ito naman yung total price ng mga in-cart natin. So here yung place order para ma-continue na. So yan, so may message na order placed successfully. And after may mag-generate na receipt. So here, as we can see na nag-reset yung table na wala yung mga present order and yung price.
Greetings, I'm Alice Regina Gaze, and I'm here to discuss or manage users frame and the receipt frame. I will discuss the manage users frame first. So here we group this GUI class inside the restaurant.gui package to organize all visual components into one folder. Then we imported the JSwing and AWT because we used that for building the interface, and then we also imported our custom model classes, which is the restaurant.model package, but more specifically, just the user and the user manager class. This is so that we can connect the logic to this GUI. And then this manage users frame class, it extends the JFrame, which means that the whole window is a standalone frame. We created instance variables to manage the users through user manager, and then we displayed them using JTable, and it holds the data using the default table model. And then the trigger actions using the 3 buttons for add, edit, and delete. Here in this constructor, we have the user manager as the parameter so that we can take the data from the user manager and we will be able to use it in this GUI. We also initialize the user manager at the start. Then in this next part, these are all for the customization of our JFrame. This is for the font, the color, the title of the window, and then the size, and then this one is so that the window is centered to the center of the screen. Then for the next part, we define 2 columns, which is called username and role, and then initialize the table model with them. Then we called a helper method called refresh user table to load the data into the table from the user manager. We also applied fonts and background styling so that the table matches the rest of the program. So here we use a JScroll pane to make the table scrollable, and then we also style the header using JTable header for the styling. And then we added a JPanel, which is for the button. We called it button panel. And then there we added the add button, the edit button, and the delete button. Then we also have action listeners for each button. For the add button, when the add button is clicked, we show a form inside the dialog for entering username, password, and role. And then we check for empty fields, then we call the add user method in user manager, and finally we refresh the table using the helper method earlier to show the new users. And then for the action listener of the edit button, we first check if a user is selected. If yes, we refill the form with the existing user data. And then after the user has made the changes that they wanted, we will pass the updated details to edit user method and then refresh the display. And then for the action listener of the delete button, we confirm the action using a pop-up. If confirmed, we will then delete the selected user from the list and refresh the table to reflect those changes. And then this is the refresh user table method. This method clears the existing rows in the table, and then it reloads all users from the user manager. It helps keep the display in sync with the latest data whenever we add, edit, or delete. That's all for the manage users frame. For the next UI, I will discuss the receipt frame. So this is also inside the restaurant.gui package. We start by importing the necessary swing and AWT packages. So these are for the GUI components and customization and styling of the program. And then here we define 3 important components. A text area, which is for us to be able to display the content of the receipt. A J button, which is just for downloading or saving the receipt, just for example. And then a J label, which holds the background image that we added to the receipt frame. And then inside the receipt frame, we set the window title to full dash the name of the restaurant and receipt to indicate that it's the receipt window. And then this is the size. We set the size to 280 by 400, and this set location relative to null means that the window will appear in the center of the screen. And then we also set the close operation to dispose on close, so it only closes this window and not the entire application. And then next, we create and configure the text area that displays the receipt. We make it read-only, wrap long lines, and use a monospaced font so that it actually looks like a receipt. And we also made it transparent by setting it to set opaque false so that the background image will be visible behind it. And then we also added a J button called download receipt, but it doesn't actually work. It's just for the style or display so that it actually looks like a receipt. And then we also have a J-scroll pane because some receipts could be very long and we need the receipt to be scrollable. and then we put the text area inside that chase scroll pane so that it is scrollable. And then finally, we load a background image and place it behind all the components by adding it to the content pane after everything else that we have added. And then at the end, there is a set receipt method that let us pass in the full receipt as a string and display it in the text area. This is just so that it is easier for the receipt to be displayed in the frame. So that's all for the receipt frame. So now I will show how the manage users frame and receipt frame look like and how they run and how they work. So if we run the program, it will ask for a username and password, and if we want to see the manage users frame, we will need to log in as an admin, and I will use this username and password to log in, and then we will click this button, and then this will show the table that has all of the we put predefined roles and username and password for every member of the group in Serpat. If we click this button, we can add a new user, and then here we can choose if you want that user to be an admin, a customer, or a kitchen staff. And then if we click OK, it will show up in this table. If we want to access the receipt frame, we will need to log out and open and log in as a customer first. So I will use this username and password, and then we will order this Coke float and iced tea. We will add it to our cart, and then we will check our cart. It will show up here, and then if we click place order, it should show this window, which is the receipt frame. It also has the download button, and yeah, if we exit this window, it doesn't exit the whole program. So that's it for the manage users frame and the receipt frame.
So, Dongal greetings. I'm Crispin Bibutas, and I'll be explaining the order.java. So, this Java class defines an order in a restaurant system and highlights object-oriented principle, of course, and with association and composition. So, each order is associated with customer, meaning it keeps a reference to the customer who placed it. It also contains a list of menu item objects representing the food or drink selected. Upon creation, the order generates a receipt, which is a clear example of composition of the receipt is part of the order and cannot exist independently. So inside the constructor, each menu item is added to the receipt using the add item method, which updates both the item list and the total amount. The order is then added to a centralized unique queue using the singleton order queue manager and saved in a static list for easy access and tracking. The show receipt method allows us to visually display the receipt through a GUI window called receipt frame, which shows itemized details and the total price. So there's also a method to delete orders and to string method that provide a simple text summary of the order. So including the customer's name and then a selected items. So inside the order class is a nested receipt class emphasizing composition. So it keeps tracking of each receipt item, calculates the total and generates an nicely formatted receipt string. So for overall, the class is well structured for managing customer transaction in restaurant, supporting both back end logic and front end display. So for the next class is receipt item. So this Java class represent a single item listed on a customer receipt in the restaurant system. It contains three main attributes: the main item's name, its price, and the quantity ordered. The constructor initializes these attributes when a new receipt item object is created. The class is also I mean overrides the toString method to format and return a readable string that shows the quantity of item, its name, and the price per unit. For example, if a customer ordered two burgers at 120 pesos each, the output would be 2 times burger, 120. So this class is used inside receipt class to store and display all the items included in a customer's order.
Greetings everyone. I'm April J. Franco and I'm here to explain manage order frame. This public manage order frame lists orders. This that orders is the constructor to initialize the manage order frames that UI. This is the set title, set size, set location relative to none, set default close operation. It is a set window for title and size. So in this one, the color, it is a defined color scheme. In this one, get content pane, set background color, con- get content pane, set layout. It is to set main background and layout. JLabel title label equals new JLabel manage orders. This lines of code, it is to create and add the title label. Next one is the order list model equals new default list model. This lines of code, it initializes the order list model and UI list. This J scroll pane, it is to add the scroll pane for the list. Next one is the placeholder label. So for this one, it is a placeholder label when there are no orders. Next one is the J panel center panel equals new J panel. So this one is it is a panel to hold order list and placeholder. So in this one, we have the button panel, which is consist of delete button, and it is to create and configure delete button inside a bottom panel. It is a functionality for delete button with a confirmation. So in this one, the order selected order equals orders that get indexed. Are you sure to you want to delete this order? Confirm deletion. J option pane, yes or no option. So in this one, it confirms the deletion with the order details. If confirm J option pane, yes options. If it's confirmed that you want to delete, it is removed. Then the J option pane show message dialog order deleted successful. Then it is to remove order if confirm the and refresh list. So for this refresh order list, it initial load of the order list. We have the private void refresh order list. If order is empty, placeholder label that set visible to true, order list that's set visible to false, else for order, and so on. It refresh the UI list with current orders. April J. Franco, and I'm here to show you the output of the manage order. So in this one, if I click this and delete it, it will show an message confirm deletion. Are you sure you want to delete this order? If I say no, it's never, it's a no. So if I click yes, the order deleted successfully. So that's all. Thank you for watching. It let me. So for this one, the public user manager, it's a constructor called when you do a new user manager. Then users, new array list, it creates an empty array list to store users. Then add users, it's a predefined login credential for testing or demo. The getter lets the other classes reads the user list. Next one is the for Authenticate checks user and password against stored user. The for loop through all users. Then if user get username, if both username and password match, then return user successful login, return that user object, or return null, no match found, login fails. The public void add users, it is a create and add a user for of the correct role. So we have the case admin, customer, and kitchen staff. If a role is something else, nothing happens. So in this one, public void edit user. So it's for the edit user or replace the user at the index with a new one. If index less than 0, it is a guard clause. So make sure the index is within bounds, then return invalid index to nothing. So for this one, the user set index to null, it removes the old user set to null briefly, then switch role. It adds the new user object in the same spot like the admin, customer, kitchen staff, then again other roles are ignored. So onto the next one we have the delete user. So for these lines of code, it is to delete user or remove the user at the given index. That's all. Thank you for watching and listening. Onto the next.
Dangal greetings everyone. I'm Gonzales Maria Manuela and I'm going to explain the main class, login frame class, and admin main menu frame class. So here, firstly is the main class inside the restaurant package, and we imported the login frame in this class. So here are the available login credentials so the user can enter in their account. Then we created the menu object and we added a menu item in the mid dish, beverage menu, and dessert menu. And here is to show the login frame window. So in this class, the login frame class extends JFrame. This extends JFrame. So meaning it's a window. Then it's part of the GIO package. Then here are the attributes. The user manager handles the login authentication. The menu holds the menu items, and the rest are the GUI components of the Java Swing. These are the design. Then let's go to the login button. So we added the action listener in this, so the user can click the login button. So um, it will get the user field and username field and password field. So um, the user manager authenticate will be called to check the login. So if the credentials are right, then it will check the user's role using instance of. So if the credentials are right, so if the user is admin, it will open the admin main menu frame. If the user is customer, then the menu view frame will be shown. And if the kitchen staff will log in, then kitchen panel frame will be shown. Then the dispose is to close the login window, and the invalid username or password will be shown if the login was wrong, like the credential are wrong. So here is the admin main menu frame. So in this class, this is like the main dashboard for admin users after they log in. So the user can manage users, manage menu items, manage order, and generate reports. So here is the admin main menu frame extends JFrame. So again, this is a window, so it extends to JFrame. And here are the attributes, the buttons. And we added the action listener into the button so the user can go to the respective window. So first in the manage user, so this opens the manage user frame kung saan pwedeng makapag add, edit, or delete ng user si admin. Then here sa manage menu items, mag-open yung manage menu frame para i-manage yung menu ng restaurant. Then here sa manage order, then ito naman mag-open yung manage orders frame. So makikita or ipoprocess ng admin yung mga customer ng order ng mga customer. And here's a report. So, merong drop down here wherein the admin can choose kung anong gusto nilang report. Pwedeng daily sales, most ordered items, or customer order history. So, let's log into the um, program. So, let's log in on admin first. So, let's choose as. So here is the dashboard wherein the admin can manage user. Look, add, edit, delete, then manage menu items, manage ng admin yung menu, then the reports, it can generate daily sales, most ordered items and customer order history, then manage orders of the customers and log out. So let's log in a customer. Let's log in Gonzales. 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 Here, the customer can choose in the menu and add to cart. Log out. Then let's log in on kitchen stuff. Let's um, log in Franco. One. So here, so this will notify the kitchen staff of the orders of the customer. Then let's try an invalid credential. So it will display the invalid user name or password if invalid credentials has been logged.